Hello and welcome to another special edition of Super Lady Hero Hour. We are talking about Marvel's Black Widow, which is going to be available on Disney Plus. I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm joined as always by Kay-B. Hello, Kay-B.
Hello. Welcome to this conversation about Black Widow. This is going to be as spoiler-free-ish as possible, just because the film does not come out for another couple of weeks. And of course, we know that you guys want to see it, but we definitely wanted to get a review out because we have already seen it and we have thoughts. So Black Widow is a film about Natasha Romanoff and her quest between the films Civil War and Infinity War. So I should note, initially it was being billed as a 90s film, like fully, I guess. And this is different because it does start in the 90s. So there is some 90s action, but really it is more closer to present day, unlike Captain Marvel, which was like fully in the 90s. So how do you feel about Black Widow? What are your thoughts?
I loved this. I had such a good time. I like that it was action filled. I like that we got some backstory. I really enjoyed everything about this. My biggest complaint was, why didn't this come out between Civil War and Infinity War? That would have been great. It fits right in. Why did we have to wait this long? But otherwise, I absolutely loved it. I think the performances were incredible. The action was amazing. The story was great. I have, aside from waiting till 2021 to release it, I have no complaints. What about you? What did you think about Black Widow?
So overall, I thought it was good. I like the fact that it really feels like a spy film. So in my personal opinion, kind of just the way that it's shot, at least in the first couple of acts, really feels very close to like a female Jason Bourne series, almost like we're getting kind of this background. And what I do appreciate is that this is not a film. So actually, I said the 90s bit on purpose because I am glad that we did not spend all of our time in the 90s or the early 2000s because, I really didn't want that type of Natasha Black story. So what this provides is present day with flashbacks, which I think is kind of a better way of kind of understanding her and introducing, her family that we see in the trailer to us more robustly. I will say for me, this is 100% a Florence Pugh film. I feel like she steals every scene. For me, she was truly the character to watch in this. And, I'm a huge Rachel Weisz fan, obviously, because I've mentioned on this show and on Twitter and in every waking moment of my life how much I adore the Mummy series. And the chemistry between her and Brendan Fraser is literally unmatched. But she is an exceptional actress. I think she really does tend to kill roles. But even knowing how much of a stan I am for her, I don't know. Florence just really stole it all for me. The one complaint I am going to have is, child, sometimes these accents were like going in and out and didn't really stick and didn't really stay. And I was kind of like, which to be fair, I kind of felt like would be the case. When I saw the trailer, I was like, I don't think these accents are really going to stick the way I think they're going to stick. So that's probably, and that's accurate. But I also feel like what we could have done because of that is, we know that these people are international spies, I'm putting that in quotes, but, we know that they are internationally involved in a lot of things and they have to take on a lot of aliases. I don't know, maybe we could have just gave them other accents,
Yes.
I was like, we don't actually need them to have this.
I agree with you. The accents were the most unnecessary, especially because maybe I misunderstood, but the beginning in flashbacks, they didn't have them. So where did they come from?
Well, they didn't have them, right? Because they were intentionally doing X, Y, and Z. And I was like, oh, okay. But like, we could have left that. Right. Like we could have done a lot of different things. So I just feel like, I don't know. I guess maybe it was to kind of show, which, Natasha has talked a lot in the other Marvel films about everything that happened to her in the Red Room. And so we knew from previous films when they tried to force her to be with Bruce, which also was a fail. But when they tried to force that kind of romantic relationship between Bruce and Natasha was when we found out that she had been sterilized, right? Or that she had gotten, a non-consensual hysterectomy and was unable to have kids. So we knew like her time was really, really, really traumatic. And we've known that and kind of how she's navigated life since then, and how really her whole journey and part of being an Avenger was really to kind of wash the blood off her hands. I mean, that's really it. So this film is a continuation of us seeing that about her. But I love that they just kind of wove in some familial elements. And so for me, I just, I will say I was one of those people who was skeptical about this film initially, and I've said it multiple times, but I think that the action was really great. I liked the theme of sisterhood, which is a theme that you see in the trailer, and you guys could allude to, so it's not a spoiler. I like the theme of sisterhood in this film as well, and I'm excited to see kind of where it goes. But I also actually like the theme of healing, because I think that is a really big theme in this film too, and it's something that Natasha has been searching for since she joined the team, right? Like, it's very clear that like she has really been trying to be the best version of herself, whatever that looks like, to make her own choices, to heal, and to atone for all of the things that happened in her past. And I like that. But yeah, I mean, to Yael's point, yes, the timing, because now it makes me want to watch Infinity War to kind of see the differences and the changes in her behavior from so like now I want to watch all three, and that's only because I want to know kind of what differences really played into her choices. And I think something that is good is that what we see in this film is, everyone kept being like, why would she sacrifice herself? And yes, Clint has kids. So like, we understand that he has kids, he has a family, and she didn't. But I think watching this film, you understand even more why she sacrificed herself in Infinity War. I think it makes more sense. So I do wish we would have had it before.
Yeah, I think you're right. Everything about this really worked. It was really well done. You're right. Florence did really steal this film, which I think everyone saw that coming. Everyone knew it was going to happen. I think also it opened a lot of avenues that could come back. That said, I don't know that they will, but I think it opened quite a few different things that could return, introduce characters that we could see again. And I don't know that we will, but we could. They could get their own series on Disney Plus. So it could happen.
You can have it. Disney Plus shows all around.
Yeah, you're right. This is really a good movie. It reminds me a lot of like the better version of Red Sparrow. Did you see that movie?
I did see Red Sparrow. I went to a screening of it, and it was real interesting to be with your critic friends in that screening. I will say the whistle in it, like, I don't know why the whistle in this particular film, like, everything visually reminded me of Red Sparrow, but the whistle reminded me of Hunger Games.
100%. Yes.
So I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100% on that. But because it's almost as though Jennifer Lawrence should have been involved somehow.
Maybe she was an executive producer. Who knows? No, I don't know that. But I'm just saying, yeah, it's because it's like the convergence of both of her films. And yet we ended up here. But when you think about it, though, I know that people compare Jennifer and Scarlett, not because they look similar, but because they have had, like, I think the longevity of their careers are almost very similar. And, they both have had careers that are just wild in the sense that they're so vast in terms of the roles that they've portrayed. But yeah, I definitely preferred this over Red Sparrow for sure. Right. But I mean, the accents are terrible in both, if I'm being honest. So.
That's true. That is true. But I definitely think this feels like a successful Red Sparrow. And I think that is fun. And it's hard we get so few female-led spy films. It is hard not to compare them.
So I will say this one being a spy film is super interesting to me because it's set obviously in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but we haven't typically leaned into any, like, everyone knows Natasha is a spy, but like no one's thinking about that when they're watching the Avengers. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you're just thinking about her combat poses and how she's useful because she's really good at hand-to-hand combat and she's really good at disarming people physically, like taking their weapons and then beating them up. So you're like, oh, Yes, but no one's really thinking about like the spy of it all. And so I kind of appreciate unlocking this door. And I know we're going to chat a little bit later about Loki, but I feel like the universe is widening in the sense that like we're getting so many different new buckets of doors that are opening, which is helpful.
And I think
Eternals is coming.
You're right. And I think that one of the things that when we think about Natasha, she's always one of the, I wouldn't say lesser Avengers, but she doesn't have powers. You know, she isn't a monster. Like, she doesn't have gadgets. She has what she has. And I think what was really great about this film is they talk about how in her world, she was she was the top of her world. So like, it even makes more sense that she's an Avenger because she was like the top tier of this world and now is part of that other world. So I really enjoyed that. It's a great connection to the bigger MCU. Let's rate this film here at Super Lady Hero Hour. We rate everything on a scale from poop to kittens. So Kay-B, how are you rating Black Widow?
I'm giving it a kitten. Yeah, I mean, I think the hand-to-hand combat is good. There are underlying themes of sisterhood, lost girls, lost women, protecting girls. I do appreciate that, and there has been some chatter on Twitter because Sade from Hello Beautiful, you know, had asked a question at the set visit around kind of the over-sexualization of these characters, and particularly Black Widow. And, you know, in this film, I do like that it is not overtly sexual at all. And it is, you know, it shows so many different layers and sides of Natasha. This literally has nothing to do with sexuality or her body in any capacity. She's using her body, of course, as a weapon, because technically that is, you know, that is Natasha's weapon as a spy. It's her body, it's her mind. And she is using all of those things. But thank God we do not have to deal with this like creepy gazy. I'm so grateful for that. And I like that we have this film where it's, you know, woman led and we don't have to deal with that. And so I felt that same way about Captain Marvel. We didn't have to deal with it then. It's woman led. We just get these strong, brilliant, powerful women who are also messy. I mean, Natasha's life is messy and she's never been one to shy away from that. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate the depth of the storyline and saying, this is why she's messy. This is the trauma that she's dealing with. This is the hand that she's been dealt. You know, these are all of the things that make her who she is. And it makes you understand her a bit more. So I will always vote for seeing the humanization of women on screen, especially over the overt sexualization. And that's what we get here. So what about you? How are you rating it?
I'm rating this also a kitten. I had a great time. It's a great action flick. It's a great spy movie. I think you said earlier that it could be, you know, it's like a Jason Bourne type of film. And honestly, what I love about it is that if she were a man, it would still, the plot would be exactly the same. And it would still be so good. And that tells you that like, we don't need to do something special because she's a woman. It's a story about a kick-ass spy. And that's what makes it so amazing. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think that everyone in it was, aside from their accents, was playing to the top of their game. And the action was very cool. It has everything you want out of an action movie. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So Kitten, for me, this is a film I will definitely watch again. And I agree with you that I want to now watch it in order of Civil War, Black Widow, Infinity War. So that's where I'm at. All right, let's talk about performer of the film. I think I know who you're going to pick, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to pick Florence. I mean, she stole every scene that she was in. She went toe-to-toe with Scarlett. And so, you know, it's interesting because and naturally in this film, they're sisters, but she's younger. But you that was never kind of at the top of your mind. Like, I guess I felt like they were equal footing, if that makes sense. Even, you know, though that she's supposed to be kind of the younger sister, when it comes to combat experience and being a spy, she's right up there, you know, kind of rivaling Natasha in that way. And so Yelena is, you know, doing her thing, and I think she kills it. So yeah, shout out to Florence. So how about you? Who are you giving? And actually, I should say honorary shout out, obviously, to Rachel, but also to David Harbour, because he actually was really funny in this too.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's kind of the muscle, but he is funny, and he has a little bit of heart in there too. And I'm digging it. And also, shout out to OT, because OT also was very, very funny in this too, and I was not expecting to see him. So how about you? Who is your performer of the film?
I'm gonna give it to Florence, because she did steal the entire thing, and she feels like the future of this. But I will say Scarlett Johansson, this was, I believe, our last time seeing her in this role, and so it was really well done. We got an amazing backstory that we kind of needed. A lot of who she is makes sense, and a lot of everything she does makes sense, and it was great to see her shine without having to be just a part of the team. And so I did really like that. So Scarlett's going to get it with Florence for everything that you said about Florence.
Well, good. All right, so style. Who are you giving it for the style icon of the film?
I'm giving it to the vest. I'm giving it to the vest. Here's what I'm going to say. Women understand how important pockets are. That's all I'm going to say, because I feel like I don't want to spoil the vest.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like women are always advocating for more pockets in literally every single garment that we own. So yes, 100%. I actually really dug the white suit. So you've seen it in posters. I think it's even in the trailer, but the white widow suit. And that's all I'll say, because, the white widow suit is, I think, probably one of my favorite ones. I definitely prefer it over the black one. It's really sleek and it looks really good. It has those red accents, I believe. So yeah, shout out to that. All right. And WTF moment of the film that we can share.
Yeah, that we can share.
I know. I'm like, that actually is.
That's a tough one. Moment of the film. I'm going to go with, nope, I can't share anything.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, this is hard. Well, maybe I probably should have rewatched the trailer before this so I could share an OG moment from the trailer.
That's okay. We are not going to spoil anything, so we're going to leave that. We're going to skip that one. But that is our discussion of Black Widow, which I believe is coming out July 9th on Disney Plus.
And in theaters. Don't forget, it is available. Yep, it is available to see in theaters.
Awesome. Well, we have a regular show coming up right now. We're going to talk about Loki and all the other stuff happening on TV. But until next time, Kay-B, where can everyone keep up with you?
At the Lady Kay-B, that's TheLadyKayb on Instagram and Twitter only. And so check in there. Today has been a doozy of a day. But if you want to see some interviews, you can head on over to my YouTube channel through the lens of Lady Kay-B, where I post tons and tons of interviews. And there's some up right now from that new Netflix series, Sex Life. And if anyone wants to talk about that, you can definitely hit me up on the side and we can discuss, because the drama. And how about you, Yael? Where can everyone find you?
I am everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. If you are as excited as I am about the upcoming Leverage Redemption series on IMDb TV, check out Interviews with the Stars, as well as a spoiler-free review on fanversation.com. Also, big news coming up related to Leverage Redemption that I cannot yet tell you about. So keep an eye on my Twitter and Instagram, because that announcement should be coming tomorrow. But yeah, make sure you check out Black Widow, and we will see you on the next Super Lady Hero Hour.
Thanks, guys. Till next time.